If you're watching this video, it is probably because you want to work in MedTech and you do not have a 4-year degree. Maybe you could not afford it. Maybe life took you in a different direction early on. Maybe you are just starting to figure out what you want, and MedTech is where your interest has landed. Whatever the reason, this video is for you. Before we go any further, I want to be honest with you about something. You have chosen a field that is extraordinarily specialized. A field where intellectual rigor is not optional. A field where the products being sold, developed, and supported are used on real patients in real clinical environments where lives are genuinely on the line. Because of that reality, companies in this industry have set certain thresholds for the people they bring in. A 4-year degree is one of them. In some parts of the industry, research and development, for example, a master's degree is the baseline expectation. That is not arbitrary gatekeeping. It is the reality of what this industry demands and why it demands it. This video is not going to tell you that breaking into MedTech without a degree is easy. It is not. But it is also not going to tell you it is impossible. Because the industry is broader than most people think, and if you are serious, strategic, and willing to do it the hard way, there might still be a path in. Let us talk about what that actually looks like. The first thing you need to understand is where the ceiling is, because aiming at the wrong target is going to waste time and energy you cannot afford to lose. The Fortune 100 companies in this space, Medtronic, Abbott, Boston Scientific, Stryker, Johnson & Johnson, are almost certainly out of reach without a 4-year degree. These are enormous organizations with tens of thousands of employees and highly standardized HR processes. They use degree requirements as a benchmark, because when a hiring leader has 10 resumes on their desk and 9 of them have 4-year degrees, and yours does not, the burden of proof on everything else becomes extraordinarily high. Their HR departments exist to manage consistency and compliance at scale. Loopholes create one-off scenarios that create precedents that create problems. The system is not designed to make exceptions. Any role that puts you directly in a procedural environment, in an operating room, a catheterization laboratory, a patient care setting where a physician is relying on your clinical and technical knowledge in real time, will almost certainly require a 4-year degree at any company of significant size. That is a door worth being honest about before you spend months pushing on it. Know your ceiling. Not to accept it permanently, but to aim below it strategically until you have built enough to reach higher. Smaller companies and mid-tier players in the MedTech space operate differently from the giants. They are building teams. They are trying to move fast. They do not always have the luxury of holding out for the perfect credentialed candidate when there is work to be done and a product to get to market. In those environments, a candidate who brings genuine hunger, relevant experience, and a compelling personal story has a better chance of being heard than they would at a company where the degree checkbox is non-negotiable before the resume even reaches a human being. But even here, you need to be realistic about the fit. A certificate in a manufacturing or technical field. Hands-on experience in a healthcare-adjacent environment. Something that tells the hiring leader this person has the foundation to do this job, even if the formal credential is missing. Do not limit yourself to the MedTech vertical alone. The broader healthcare industry is vast. There are companies in healthcare technology, medical distribution, healthcare services, hospital administration, and adjacent fields where a 4-year degree may not be a hard stop. Getting into one of those environments and building genuine knowledge and credibility over time gives you something far more valuable than a cold application to a company that will screen you out before you're ever seen. It gives you a track record, experience, a network, a story you can tell about a journey that led you to where you want to go. Cast your net wider than just MedTech. Think of it as the long way in rather than no way in. A hiring manager who believes in you as a person can change everything. Not HR. HR operates within a system, and that system has rules. But a hiring manager who has met you, spent time with you, and genuinely believes you have the hunger and the intelligence and the character to succeed in their organization. That person can be a powerful advocate for you internally in a way that no cold application ever could be. This is why everything we have talked about in this series, finding the right people, building real relationships, Conducting informational meetings with genuine curiosity and authenticity matters even more for a candidate without a degree than for one with every credential in place. Because the degree is the shortcut past the first filter. Without it, you need a human being on the inside who is willing to say, "I know this person and they are worth taking a shot on." That does not always overcome the HR hard stop. Sometimes it does not matter how much a hiring manager believes in you if the system will not move. But sometimes it does. So do not just apply. Network. Show up. Build relationships. Sell yourself as a person, not just a resume. Because all things being equal, and sometimes even when they are not, people hire people they believe in. One of the most practical pathways for a candidate without a degree who wants to get into MedTech is the contract or per diem route. Without a 4-year degree, you represent a higher perceived risk to a potential employer, not because of who you are, but because of what is missing from your profile on paper. The contract or per diem model is a way of taking that risk off the table. You are essentially saying to a company, "Take a shot on me with nothing to lose. No long-term commitment, no full benefits liability. Just give me the opportunity to show you what I can do." For a smaller company or a mid-tier player that is willing to be flexible, that is a genuinely compelling proposition. Commission-only arrangements and commercial roles work on the same principle. The company is not carrying your salary while you find your feet. You are earning your keep from day one and proving your value in the most direct way possible. This is not the only path, but it is a legitimate one for the candidate who is serious enough to take on the risk themselves in exchange for the opportunity to prove that the degree is the only thing missing from their profile. Not the hunger, the intelligence, or the work ethic. Whether you get in through a smaller company, a healthcare-adjacent role, a contract position, or a relationship that opened a door that would otherwise have been closed, what happens next is entirely up to you. Work harder than everyone else in the room. Study the technology, learn the clinical environment, build relationships with the people around you, earn a reputation for being the person who shows up early, stays late, knows the product better than anyone, and brings a level of passion to the role that makes the degree question feel increasingly irrelevant with every month that passes. Because here is the truth that this industry, like most industries, eventually comes back to. Employers care less about where you started and more about what you have built. The knowledge you have accumulated, the experience you have gained, the credibility you have earned, the brand you have created for yourself among the people who have worked with you and watched you grow. Getting your foot in the door is just the beginning. What you do with that foot in the door is the whole game. Some companies, once you're inside and have demonstrated your value over time, will offer tuition reimbursement programs that could help you get the degree you do not yet have. It is not an entry-level perk. It is something you earn your way toward. But it is a real possibility that could open doors down the road that are currently closed. Getting in is not just about the role you start in. It is about what becomes possible from the inside that was never possible from the outside. Breaking into MedTech without a degree is not impossible, but it requires a level of self-awareness, strategic thinking, and sheer determination that goes beyond what most candidates, even those with every credential in place, are willing to bring. Know your ceiling. The Fortune 100 companies and the procedural roles that put you directly in patient care environments will almost certainly require a 4-year degree. That is not the door to push on right now. Aim where the doors actually open. Smaller companies, mid-tier players, the broader healthcare industry, roles where your relevant experience, your technical knowledge, and your personal story can compete on their own terms. Network with genuine intention. Build real relationships with people who can advocate for you from the inside. Consider the contract or per diem route as a way of reducing the employer's risk and giving yourself the chance to prove what you're made of. Work harder than everyone else. Build your knowledge. Build your credibility. Build your brand. Just like everyone who went and got their degree had to put the time in and do the work to get where they are going, you are going to have to do it the hard way too. The difference is, your path just looks a little different from theirs. The full Breaking into MedTech series covers everything from finding your therapy area to conducting the formal interview. All of it is linked in the description below. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next.